A random number can change how much you're willing to pay for a house. Not by a little. By tens of thousands of dollars. Welcome to Money, the channel where we look at the hidden forces that shape your financial life and show you how to push back. If you're new here, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We post every week, and trust me, what's coming next is something you really don't want to miss. Today we're talking about something called anchoring. It's a trick your brain plays on you every single time you see a price, hear a number, or walk into a negotiation. And the scary part? You don't feel it happening. You think you're making a free, clear choice. But you're not. Someone else already set the starting point, and that starting point is quietly pulling every decision you make. By the end of this video, you'll spot anchoring everywhere. In shops, at car dealerships, in job interviews, on restaurant menus. I'll show you how it works, why it's so hard to resist, and what you can actually do about it. Let's start in a university classroom. In the early 2000s, a professor named Dan Ariely ran an experiment with his students. He asked each of them to write down the last 2 digits of their social security number, a totally random number. Then he showed them products, a bottle of wine, a box of chocolates, a computer keyboard. He asked 2 questions. Would you pay this amount for this item? And then, what's the most you'd pay? The results were striking. Students with high social security digits, say 80 or 90, were willing to pay almost twice as much as students with low digits, like 10 or 20, for the exact same products. The number had nothing to do with the wine, the chocolate, or the keyboard. It was random. But it set a reference point in their minds. That point pulled their offers up or down without them ever noticing. That's anchoring. The idea was first studied seriously in the 1970s by 2 psychologists, Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman. Kahneman later won the Nobel Prize in Economics partly because of this work. In one of their experiments, they spun a wheel in front of people, a wheel set to always land on either 10 or 65. Then they asked, what percentage of African countries are in the United Nations? People who saw 65 guessed much higher than people who saw 10. A random spin of a wheel changed a factual estimate. Their conclusion: we don't calculate value from scratch. We start from the first number we see or hear, the anchor, and adjust from there. But we almost never adjust far enough. The anchor sticks. And it pulls us toward it, even when it means nothing at all. Businesses figured this out a long time ago. Think about the last time you bought something on sale. The tag said, was $200, now $80. Did you stop to ask whether $80 was actually fair? Probably not. You thought, I'm saving $120. Great deal. The $200 is the anchor. And sometimes that original price was never real. Some retailers have put fake original prices on items, prices they never actually charged. But it still works, because the brain doesn't check. It just sees, big number, smaller number deal. Furniture stores do this constantly. A sofa priced at $1,200 sits next to a sign saying it was $3,000. The $3,000 is the anchor. It makes $1,200 feel cheap. But is $1,200 a fair price for that sofa? You probably don't know. And you probably don't stop to find out. The anchor already did its job. Restaurant menus use anchoring too, and it's more deliberate than most people think. Restaurants often put a very expensive item near the top of the menu. Not because they expect you to order it, but because it makes everything else look reasonable by comparison. A $95 steak makes a $45 salmon feel like the sensible choice. You didn't save $50. You just got pulled toward a number that felt comfortable sitting next to the high anchor. Subscription pricing works the same way. When a service shows you 3 plans, basic at $9, standard at $19, premium at $39. The $39 option is often there as an anchor. It makes $19 look like the smart, balanced pick. The company usually wants you on the $19 plan. The expensive tier is just there to make the middle option feel like the obvious, reasonable choice. And this isn't only about businesses. Your own past experiences are anchors too. If you used to pay $8 for a haircut, a $30 haircut will always feel expensive, even if $30 is totally normal where you live now. If your first apartment costs $600 a month, $1,200 will feel steep, even years later, in a completely different city. Economists call this a reference price. It's the price you expect to pay, based on what you paid before. Old anchors can stick for years, shaping what you think is fair long after the market has moved on. Car dealerships are one of the clearest examples of anchoring at work. When you sit down with a salesperson, they almost always open with the sticker price, the full list price. That number is designed to be high. Any discount from there feels like a win. You might walk away thinking you did great, when really you just moved a little from a very inflated starting point. Smart buyers do something different. Before they walk in, they research what people actually pay for that car. They come in with their own number, a real one. When the salesperson leaves with a sticker price, they don't adjust from it. They replace it. Whoever sets the first number sets the frame. And whoever sets the frame usually wins. Real estate works the same way. A house listed at $850,000 will draw offers close to that number. Not because it's worth $850,000, but because that number is the anchor. In one study, real estate agents were given the same house to evaluate, but told different listing prices. Even the professional agents, the experts, gave higher estimates when the listing price was higher. They thought they were being objective. But the anchor got them too. Now let's talk about salaries. Because this is where anchoring might cost you the most money over your whole career. When a job interviewer asks, "What are your salary expectations?" whoever speaks first sets the anchor. If you say a number first, that number shapes the whole conversation. If you wait for them to go first, their number becomes the anchor, and it might be lower than what you were worth. Research is clear. The first number in a salary negotiation has a strong pull on the final outcome. So if you go first, go high, with real research to back it up. A confident, well-researched high number is a strong anchor. It pulls the final offer up. And if they go first with a low number, don't just adjust from it. Replace it. Say, "I was thinking more around X, based on what I've seen for this role in this market." You've set a new anchor. Here's one more place anchoring shows up, and this one surprised me. Time. When a doctor tells a patient most people recover in about 6 weeks, that figure becomes an anchor. Studies have shown that patients given a shorter recovery estimate tend to recover faster than those given a longer one. Not because the estimate was more accurate, but because the numbers shape their expectations. And their expectations shape their behavior. The same thing happens at work. A manager says, "I think this will take about 3 months." Everyone plans around 3 months. Even if that was just a rough guess, the number sticks. The anchor becomes the deadline. So what can you do about all this? First, when you see a price or hear a number, stop and ask yourself who put it there. Did they benefit from you accepting it? Is it a real reference point, or was it set to pull you in a certain direction? Second, do your research before any negotiation. Know the actual market price. Know what others paid. When you walk in with your own research number, you can replace the anchor, not just adjust from it. Third, watch out for round numbers. Numbers ending in 000 or 500 feel official. They feel calculated. But they're often just guesses dressed up as facts. A specific number, $847 instead of $850, actually lands harder in a negotiation because it sounds like it came from real data. And fourth, slow down. Anchoring works best under pressure. When you feel rushed, the first number wins. When you take your time, you can think past it. The anchor loses its hold when you stop and look at it directly. The anchor is always there. In every shop, every deal, every salary conversation. You can't make it disappear. But once you see it, it stops making your decisions for you. Here's what I want to leave you with. Every price you've ever accepted, your rent, your salary, your phone, your car, started with a number that someone else set. How many of those did you actually question? And how many did you just adjust from? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. If this video got you thinking, hit the like button. It really helps other people find the channel. And the next video goes even deeper into how your brain shapes choices you think are entirely yours. I think you'll find it hard to stop thinking about. Thanks for watching. See you next time.